Hello, and welcome to the Successful Introvert, How to Confidently Grow Your Business and Your Bank Account, a weekly interview series where I will be interviewing experts on how to grow your confidence, step out of your comfort zone, and thrive in your business. I'm Erin Sum, confidence coach, supporting shy and introverted women entrepreneurs to step past their fears of being seen and heard and into confidence so they can shine their bright, beautiful light, making a bigger difference in the world and in their bank account. Make sure to join the free Stand Up and Shine Confidence Challenge at erinsum.com/confidence challenge to expand your confidence and increase your income in less than 10 minutes a day. I am so thrilled to have Melanie Downey with us today talking about why publicity is an introvert's dream. Woohoo! Hi, Melanie.
Hey there.
Hey. So I'm really excited to talk to you today, Melanie, because publicity can be really challenging for introverts. So I want to know why it's an introvert's dream. But first, let me tell everyone a little bit about you. So everyone, Melanie Downey is an award-winning brand PR coach that entrepreneurs and experts turn to when they want to get known and catapult their success. She's got millions of press hits under her belt for herself and her clients. How exciting. Time magazine once printed one of her press releases word for word, and she's worked on a campaign with the likes of Sir Richard Branson. Wow. But she's best known for her insight into what makes a brand real news and developing the messaging that gets attention and gets results. She says that today's world is made for introverts. Ooh, I can't wait to hear about it. So Melanie, tell us a little bit more about your business and what you do.
Okay. Well, I've been working in public relations and marketing for about 25 years. And I started out actually as a reporter and ended up transferring my skills into public relations. Back in the 90s with the whole .com boom, I kind of hit it right and got on the ground floor with a lot of startups. So I worked for a handful of companies that, you know, we were a couple people. I ran the public relations or the marketing and were acquired by big companies for lots of money. And probably the most well-known was monster.com. And that was the company I was working for when I did the project with Richard Branson.
Okay.
The project was blimp water skiing. And it's actually an interesting story and tells a lot about public relations. But we had planned an event where my boss, Jeff Taylor, who was the CEO of Monster at the time, engaged with Richard Branson in a blimp water skiing challenge, which is exactly what it sounds like. Water skiing attached to a blimp, and Richard Branson had the world record. And just by associating the two names, and Richard Branson accepted the challenge, and the press coverage was phenomenal because you had this new .com startup CEO and Richard Branson. Mm-hmm. And ended up being on every major TV network, in every newspaper in the United States, and lots of magazines. The event was a disaster.
Oh no.
There was a hurricane. So the day that we actually planned to hold the event, we had to cancel it because you can't water ski if there's a hurricane.
Right.
And when we rescheduled it, Richard Branson couldn't actually show up that day. And neither could the reporters that said they were going to come. So we ended up having one reporter and one TV crew. But we held the event and we did it, and I was kind of like, oh no, all this, time and effort into this event, and no one's here, and Richard Branson isn't here. But it ended up being covered. It was on just about every major TV network and TV news across the country, and we were in every newspaper across the country and in lots of magazines, and like Time magazine covered it and a few other really big ones. So it just goes to show that you never know what's going to happen with publicity, and you just need to go forward and do your stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. So I know that you are an introvert. Tell us a little bit about that and how did you end up doing what you're doing as an introvert?
So yes, I am probably one of the biggest introverts that I know, and I hate networking. I hate meeting people that I don't know. I hate making phone calls, which I guess
Don't we
it's
all?
kind of, yeah, actually not all people do, but introverts do.
Yeah.
So it's really strange that I ended up in public relations, but I really enjoyed the writing side of it and coming up with the ideas. So this was 25 years ago. Now the PR landscape has completely changed because it's done almost completely 100% over email or social media. So it's an introvert's dream. And if I had started my career now instead of 25 years ago, I would have been so amazing because, you know, I can email anyone. So as long as you know who to approach, when to approach them, and what to say, it's so easy to get publicity because reporters, they need to fill the news 24/7. They're looking for stories, and all you have to do is email them a good idea and you could get yourself free publicity.
Wow.
And it's actually, it's pretty interesting to note that most reporters are introverts. And as an introvert, you know that you kind of like hanging out with other introverts.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a win-win for us, finally.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting that reporters are introvert. Okay.
With the exception of radio, a lot of radio hosts are extroverts.
Huh.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Huh. So tell us, why is publicity an introvert's dream?
Because it is, well, when the media speaks, everyone listens. And a lot of times we feel really uncomfortable if we are trying to sell something or we are trying to convince people or just put ourselves out there. But when it comes to publicity and public relations, really it's other people doing that for you. It's a third party endorsement telling other people that you're an expert, you're reputable, you're responsible, you're an authority, you're an expert, you're a leader, and it's all done without you having to go forward and put yourself out there or make that first move or do that networking. And when you get publicity, instead of you saying to people, come buy my stuff, they actually seek you out and they're ready to buy your stuff. Gotcha. So it's really, it's the perfect marketing tactic for someone who's an introvert. Really all people, but especially someone who's an introvert, because it just takes that pressure off.
Yeah, I love that. I'd never thought of it that way. So that's, I love that you had that, you know, have that perspective on it to bring. So great. So tell us a little bit, why is brand PR especially suited to introverts, and why do reporters love working with you guys? Because I know that they do.
Well, it's partly because, like I said before, a lot of reporters are introverts, and introverts like being around other introverts because we are detail oriented, we're introspective, we think about the details. And I don't want to say anything bad about extroverted people, but you know, introverts a lot of times will think about, well, what's the other's point of view, or they look at things maybe a little more objectively and are willing to go that extra step to help someone out. And that's really what reporters are looking for, and really all you need to do in order to become an expert source and a go-to person for the media.
Nice. Okay, great. So tell us about Tony Tinervia and the inventor of the keys to the capitals.
Okay. So as I said, I'd been doing public relations for about 25 years, and a couple years ago, I actually broke my back. unrelated to Tony. I broke my back, and while I was sitting still for 6 months, I had one of those kind of soul-searching moments, and I thought I really wanted to go back not only to that time when I was working with unknown brands and startups, but I wanted to be able to help like everyday people to get their messages out there and build their dreams and change the world. And so I decided to put together an online class called the Publicity Workshop. And I had just kind of put it out there on Facebook that I was going to do a beta group. And if anyone was interested, let me know. And I got some response. And Tony was among the people who answered that call. And Tony's backstory was, or that he had told me, was that he had invented a game and he had done some press releases and some other things, but he wasn't getting any interest in his board game. So I said, all right, come on, let me, take a look and we'll see what we can do. And first of all, I've never had a phone conversation with Tony, and you'll find out why in a few minutes. So we were going back and forth over email, and I did some internet searches on his name and his board game. And I discovered over the course of that research that Tony has Asperger's syndrome. And when I asked him more about that is when the real story came out. He was diagnosed with Asperger's when he was 58 years old.
Wow.
So he went his whole life feeling like he was different, but not knowing why. And someone gave him a book. And in the book, it said that people with autism can be creative and invent things. So he decided, well, I'm autistic. I guess I'll invent something. And he invented a board game called Keys to the Capitals. It's a really fun little board game. It teaches people the capitals of the states and the state flags and a few other things. So at this point, he was 60 years old, and he was his 91-year-old mother's full-time caretaker. And he had some money saved up, so he developed the blueprint for the game, and he had it professionally manufactured. So he had, I don't remember how many units, 2,000 units, and he needed to sell these because he'd put his money into the manufacture of the game.
Right.
So we worked on press release, and I told him, keep in mind, this is all over email and Facebook Messenger. Tony is not comfortable speaking. So he was really nervous about approaching the media. But like I said, he was able to do it all over email because that's just the way it's done now. And we worked on the press release. He approached media, and he got a TV spot pretty much right off the bat.
Wow.
He got a couple of magazine features about him and his story and his board game in magazines, 2 to 3 page profiles with photos and everything. And he ended up getting the attention of a board game distributor and signed a contract.
Wow.
And his game is actually going to be in Target stores starting in September.
Wow.
And
That's so awesome.
And this is as a result of the publicity that he got. And he texts me or emails me a couple times a week, and he said that there have been a few other negotiations with other stores. I'm not allowed to say what the other stores are, but they're really big names. So he's really excited, and he was able to easily get this publicity just by following a few simple rules and a few simple steps. And even the TV spot that he did came out great.
Wow. And he was able to do, to speak on TV and be, and explain the game and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, they ended up doing a news segment. So it was taped over a couple hours in his home, and they condensed it down to 2 minutes, which is normal for a TV news segment. It wasn't like a talk show or anything.
Right. Okay. Wow. That's so amazing that you were able to help him do that.
And, well, two things about Tony was a lot of people sometimes will hold back and kind of be afraid to put themselves out there. And I asked Tony, you're kind of inspirational to other people in the class, because he was the first one to really start those different efforts. And he said, well, I didn't think I just did it. And so I keep telling people, be like Tony.
Yeah. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's great advice, because we get stuck in, the hows and the what do I do and the, what ifs and all these different things, our monkey minds just go to town forever. And we don't just jump and do it. Sometimes they'll never get done. Wow, that's a great story. I love that. I can't wait to hear more about Tony later.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So give us a couple tips on how an introvert can get started with their own PR.
Okay, so there are just a few things that you need to do, that you need to know when you're doing your own PR. And the first thing that you need to do is know how to talk about yourself. And it's not enough to just say, I'm a this who
Right.
helps these people. You really need to dig deeper, and you need to be able to find the stories and find the angles that reporters are going to like.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've done that, you just need to be familiar with the media outlet that you're pitching, and you need to know about the reporter that you're pitching and get their contact information and maybe know a little bit about them, which is really easy to do. All of the information is available for free. And then you follow a simple template to pitch them. And if you don't hear back, you follow up, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
So there are a few things to know about, the best time of day to pitch and the best day of the week for newspapers, radio, TV, because it's different for every media outlet. But really, once you know those story angles and the things that reporters are going to take notice about, the rest of it is just following a formula.
Okay.
And you can repeat it over and over again with the same story ideas.
Wow. Okay. That's great. Yeah. So and you said that all the information is available for free. Would somebody just go to the newspaper outlet? How do they find that information to contact people?
It depends on the media outlet, but there are a lot of ways. One of my favorite tools is to use, and this is for your local news, so newspapers, TV outlets, and radio stations. There's a website called UFMPL, and it lists all of the contact information for all of those media outlets in one place.
Oh, wow.
If you visit the website and spend a couple minutes on it, you'll be able to figure it out really quickly, but it's a link right to their website and to their contact information, and you could build an entire media list that way in under a half hour.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a super tip. Thank you so much. Well, any other tips for those watching today about how to do their PR, or what to do, or anything like that?
Well, the most important thing, like I said, is to know about your brand and to position your brand in a way so that you are rising above all of the other people who are pitching the reporters.
Right.
So I actually, in my publicity workshop, I teach a whole process for figuring that out, as well as how to develop your story ideas and to pull those story ideas, even when you think that you don't have anything to talk about, because you'll always have lots that they can talk about. It's just a matter of knowing where to go to find that.
Okay. Excellent.
And then those steps of researching the media outlet before you pitch. One of the biggest pet peeves that reporters have is that, there'll be a food reporter and they'll get pitches about cars or makeup. So it's really just little things like that, like know exactly who you're talking to and give them something of value, because they're just like you or I. If you get, an email that has nothing to do with you whatsoever, you're like, why did someone send this to me? But if you get something that really is useful to you and provides value to you, you take a second look, and you'll remember when you see them in your inbox again that you want to open their email.
Right. Yeah, I totally, it makes complete sense. And sometimes people just don't pay attention, what they're sending and who they're sending it to. Excellent. And so I have one more question, and it's more about the inner stuff. So like if someone's looking to do more PR and to put themselves out there, but they're really shy or they don't have confidence in themselves, do you have any tips on them to get past some of those fears and blocks?
First of all, I just want to say that every single person that I've ever worked with, whether it's been one of my students in the Publicity Workshop or whether it was a multi-million-dollar CEO, always has some sort of reservation about putting themselves out there. Even people who come across really confident on television are kind of nervous before they go on air. That's normal, and everyone feels like that. I would imagine that a lot of TV anchors feel that way before they go live on the air every day as well. But from our standpoint as an entrepreneur or book author or small business owner, you really need to know that reporters need you. The media landscape has changed so much, even just in the past 5 years, with the proliferation of all the online news outlets and the expectation that news is going to be immediate and 24/7, and we're always getting something new. So reporters need you. They need you to give them good stories. And it's interesting to know that just because you've never had media coverage before doesn't mean that reporters aren't going to want to use you as a source or do a story on you. Because it's good for them to find fresh new faces. They can't be using the same people over and over again.
Right.
And as long as you have good, solid news to share with them and it's packaged in the right way, they're going to want to do stories about you, and they're going to want to use you. And if you are responsive to them and you provide value to them, you're really doing them a favor and helping them do your job.
Right.
So it's your responsibility to go out and get publicity for yourself.
I love that. And I love that you said that it doesn't matter who you are. You could be a multi-million-dollar business owner or, someone just getting started. There's always going to be some sort of fear around putting yourself out there. It never really goes away. And I've heard that before too, of, people who are actors or singers or things, that there's always some sort of nerves before going on stage or getting out there, So
and it's just like anything else. The more you practice it, the better you'll get.
Right.
The first couple times you do it, you might not be good.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine, because once you do those first couple and you realize that you didn't die, that it's going to become easier every time. And before you know it, like another student that I had in the Publicity Workshop, Kenesha Coy, she runs a nonprofit, My Care Initiative, and she started doing them. And, I started working with her last November, and she just did another set of radio and TV interviews a few weeks ago. And I was watching, I was like, in less than a year, like, she is so comfortable on camera. She's so confident. She knows, she talks about this stuff like it's second nature. And she was joking with the anchors, and it was awesome to see.
Yeah. And that's another great point too, is that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. You might still get nervous, before starting and things, but the more you do it, the more confidence you're going to have. I mean, if you go back and look at my videos too, people say to me all the time, I could never do videos like you do. You're so good. And I'm like, look at my videos from 3-4 years ago. You wouldn't have said that back then.
Yeah.
But it's because I kept doing it that I got more comfortable and more confident. And that's how you have to do it. You have to get yourself out there. You have to stop thinking about it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that. So Melanie, I know you have an ebook for everyone watching today. Tell us a little bit about that and how they can get that.
I have an ebook called The Easy Quick Start Guide to Getting Publicity. And in it, I talk about the easiest way to get press. And I've had a lot of people who have gone through my book and gone through the steps. 2 weeks later, email me and say, hey, I already got press.
Wow.
So it works. Go ahead and get the ebook, read it, follow the directions. And if you have questions, let me know. So that is available on my website, which is melaniedowney.com. And it's Downey with an EY.
Okay. And I'll post the link too on the recording. So we'll have that.
And if people sign up for the ebook, they'll get on my email list. I'm going to be starting a challenge, a publicity challenge in probably about 2 weeks. So you'll be able to go through that process too.
Oh, awesome. I'm interested in that. Very cool. Okay, so the ebook is melaniedowney.com. Any special page there or just on your homepage?
Just on my homepage, right at the top.
Okay, fantastic. And so I assume that they can get in touch with you from your website too, and any other ways that they can get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Yeah. So I have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/brandsoulclub. But if you sign up for my ebook, you'll get added to my email list. If you respond to any email that you get from me, I'll get it. And first of all, I love getting emails. So you can just ask any questions or let me know if stuff is working for you or if there's something else that you would like to see from me, and I will always respond.
Fantastic. And can you give the Facebook link again? What was that?
Mm-hmm. It's facebook.com/brandsoulclub. So BRANDSOUL club.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. This was really interesting and lots of great tips, and it was really fantastic. I really liked talking to you.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
Thank you. So everyone, to watch any past interviews, you can go to my website at aronsom.com and click on the blog tab, and then there's a drop down that says The Successful Introvert, and all the past interviews are there, and you can rewatch Melanie's interview anytime as well. So thank you again so much, Melanie. It was wonderful having you. And everyone, yes, and everyone, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.